The environmental concerns we face today are vastly different from those faced by earlier generations.
The International Soil Policy Platform on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services, or IPBES.
Disruption, failure to adhere to the system, where items are used sparingly.
Of a sustainable and stable economic model. Key areas of economic models are under scrutiny for re-evaluation and grading.
The long-term capacities of a system to exist, development that meets the needs of the present without compromise.
According to Ahmed, speaking at the 2019 Annual Pluralism Lecture in Lisbon, Portugal, pluralism is ingrained in
Good afternoon. The global condition of today's environment has a lot to offer us. As do the alarming events that we are currently experiencing, if you pay attention to our environmental partner right now, you will notice a lot of changes. Many things that were not there before are now there, particularly when it comes to land and our resources, which are poor quality.
With that said, as a population grows, so do people needs, and it was concerning at the times that we might not be able to sustain the progress we made in the world. Mr. Christian Pilar, reporting.
According to the International Soil Policy Platform on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services, or IPBES, 75% of the global land area is degraded. Human activities have led to a 1 degree Celsius rise in temperature as of 2017, pushing us closer to the 2 degrees Celsius limit before the global climate catastrophe causes enormous harm to the planet due to the catastrophic weather occurrences like dryness, hunger, and so on. The need for energy, which is frequently unsustainable and dirty, has risen as the world's population has quadrupled, the global economy has grown fourfold, and worldwide trade has increased tenfold.
Excessive highs and lows were impossible to avoid until the 21st century. Fluctuations are unavoidable, but a well-planned stabilization program may flatten and reduce them while without significantly changing long-term growth trends. What exactly do we mean when we discuss economic stability? Mr. Ramsey Gutierrez, reporting.
Lack of change, disruption, failure to adhere to the system, where items are used sparingly. Stability or stability that is constant is in balance, it does not vary, and even if you variate little from the road, stability will allow you to recover from irregularity. Stability refers to the state of being stable or in equilibrium, and hence resistance to change. It refers to the ability to rebound from perturbation, firmness in position, permanence, and resistance to change, especially disruption change. Avoiding large swing in economic activity, high inflation, and excessive volatility in exchange rate and financial market. Stability means that anything is in a state where very little or no movement can be seen, and even when a powerful forces is applied in its direction, it simply serves to demonstrate its reliability. A state economy is adaptable and we're prepared for any disruption, which means it has put measures in place to ensure it can weather any financial crisis. For today, Integrated Corporation, Ramsey Gutierrez reporting Tcwd for us.
Due to the events in our world, sustainability has become a really important tool in the battle against the climate change and other social, environmental, and economic challenges.
Consider the long-term capacities of a system to exist, development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future generations to meet their own needs. Economics devotes more attention to the problem of what combination of resources could induce growth, escape from sustainability dilemma. Some major examples are fossil fuels used for energy, fresh water supply used for irrigation and drinking, minerals used for manufacturing, trees used for construction and the fuel, fish used for food. Sustainability involves being able to sustain something. Can you make it last? Can that item last a few months or years? The ability to keep anything going is referred to as sustainability. Each of these resources is becoming increasingly scarce. We cannot continue using them as we do today. Either we will need to shift away from on our own, or shortages will force us to change our ways. Development is altering the global climate system and affecting biodiversity in ways that could have disastrous consequences. On the other hand, sustainable development is unquestionably desirable because as we develop, we want to preserve everything we have so we do not deflate the resources that we need in the future. For today's integrated corporations, Nicole reporting Tcwd for us.
Let's explore what exactly are the sustainability problems and environmental issues and resources facing right now. Ms. Nicole Angela Mayor reporting.
The environmental concerns we face today are vastly different from those faced by earlier generations, and this article will provide a list of environmental problems and solutions that can be addressed today. Climate change. Climate change is widely regarded as the most important and impactful current environmental crisis by the scientists and other professionals. It is the most visible threat confronting the globe today. We require more clear strategies and ambition from more countries and corporations. We need all financial institutions, public and private, to make a firm commitment to the green economy. Natural resource use. One of the top environmental problems facing the world is the challenge of natural resource use. Virtually all economic activity ties into natural resource use, and many environmental activities decry not only the rapid exploitation of various inputs, but also the growing gulf between the wealthy and the less advantaged. For instance, the use of water by one community can threaten the existence of another and even permanently alter nature itself. Waste production. Waste management and production is a key point that numerous environmental issues articles highlight. Dramatic pictures of refuse-choked waterways and giant floating patches of oceanic waste have highlighted the dangers of improperly disposed plastic. Similarly, electronic waste represents both an environmental danger and a missed opportunity given the inherent value of computers, peripherals, cellular phones, and other electronic that toss rather than recycle. Water pollution. Earth has been called the blue planet due to proliferation of water on its surface, but far less of that liquid is potable than casual observer might think. As water pollution critically affects water availability, it needs to be properly managed in order to mitigate the impacts of increasing water scarcity. Deforestation. Data from NASA shows that forests cover nearly a third of world's landmass, and they play an incredibly important role in the wider environment. For example, forests remove carbon dioxide from the air, prevent erosion, protect against floods, and encourage biodiversity. Provide timber and other related sources like mushrooms, maple syrup, usable barks, and berries. Unfortunately, developing nations too often resort to practices such as slash and burn, clearing and failing to care for the soil afterward, which perpetuates a vicious cycle requiring clearing of yet more trees. Sustainable food production and demand. Food production and demand present significant challenges to achieving environmental sustainability. As the global population continues to grow, the need for food escalates, putting strain on agricultural systems and the natural environment. Promoting knowledge about sustainable farming and responsible consumption empowers individuals to make informed decisions. For today's integrated corporations, this is Nicole Angela E. Mayor reporting for Tcwd for us.
Here's what we need to know towards a sustainable economic and complexity approach. Mr. Angelo Cartagena reporting.
In the pursuit of a sustainable and stable economic model, key areas of economic models are under scrutiny for re-evaluation and redesign. First one, a renewed focus on defining what truly constitutes an efficient market. Second one, exploring the diverse institutional frameworks shaping economic system. Third one, examining the compatibility between economic growth and sustainability objectives. Challenges in adopting a complexity approach to markets have surfaced, complicating the formulation of efficient economic policies in the pursuit of long-term stability and sustainability. The pervasive influence of the formal concept of markets in modern economics. Persistent reliance on market assumptions, similar to a predictable rocking horse, as theorized by Nat Wixel. Now for the latest news regarding today's integrated corporations, here's Marvin bringing you the news.
We will know if pluralism helped us to exist all together. Mr. Arnold Marvin Sasan reporting.
According to Amina J. Mohammed, speaking at the 2019 Annual Pluralism Lecture in Lisbon, Portugal, pluralism is ingrained in the DNA of the United Nations. She asserts that pluralism is the sole approach through which we can ensure that no one is left behind and effectively tackle the global challenges we confront, thereby fostering peace and prosperity for all. Mohammed identifies four essential needs for understanding pluralism. Number 1, education. Number 2, governance, justice and human rights. Number 3, peace building and conflict prevention. Number 4, measuring inclusion. Mohammed also highlights the shortcomings of certain developmental models. Number 1, convergence failure. This refers to the failure of national economic models to converge. Number 2, rapid expansion of neoliberal ideology. Problems arise due to the swift proliferation of neoliberal ideology. Number 3, increased exposure of world economic systems to crisis and contagion effects. This occurs as world economic systems become more vulnerable to crisis and contagion effects. Number 4, efficiency and legitimacy of market-based solutions. As Danny Roderick aptly puts it, markets are the essence of market economy in the same sense that lemons are the essence of lemonade. Just as pure lemon juice is hardly drinkable, effective solutions often require a mix of market mechanisms with other factors such as water and sugar to create palatable outcome. Furthermore, there exist two theoretical models on the outermost spectrum. Number 1, liberal market economy. Dynamic access to resources, capital from stock markets, flexible labor policies or hire and fire, workers' investment in skills. Number 2, coordinated market economy. Transactions are more stable and long-term oriented. Capital primarily sourced from banks. Long-term labor contracts, emphasis on skills development within companies. For today's integrated corporations, Marvin Sasan reporting, Tcwd for us.
Before we end the news partner, all of us watching today will need to know the approaches to growth because it is very important for all of us.
Correct, partner. And start with the rollover effect domination of GDP index in measurement of performance of national economies. More growth, more goods produced, the better for economies.
Amended gross domestic product is just one important index. There are many more indexes, such as Human Development Index. And lastly, the end of growth. There are no low-hanging fruits anymore, slower pace of innovation. Partner, we have lots of knowledge from this news and from me. Learning about these initiatives helps students develop insights into critical issues around the world.
You know what, partner? This impressed me. Global goals that recognize that ending poverty and other deprivation must go hand in hand with the strategies that improve health and education, reduce inequality, and thus spur economic growth.
And that's the latest news this afternoon for Contemporary Integrated Corporation. I am Stephanie Olianos,
And I am the Angel Francisca,
reporting TCW for us.